Hello once again, all you out there in Quidland. Welcome to the show, and I'm so pumped, I'm so excited to bring you a special Quidcast today, a special Quidtastic guest. That's right, the one, the only. You know her, you love her. Well, at least you've seen her around the Quidd app if you've been on Quidd for a while. SiouxieR. That's right, we have one of the top collectors of Quidd, SiouxieR. I keep wanting to call her Susie Q for some reason, so if I make that mistake, I apologize right off the bat. SiouxieR has agreed to answer a few questions in today's episode, and I brought her on because she has recently made one of the biggest sales in Quidd, and we'll get to that a little bit later. So sit back if you're new and you've just stumbled across this episode. Hey, leave a like, subscribe, go check Quidd out on the Apple Store, on the Google Play Store. But before you get too involved in Quidd, I highly recommend you go back and watch especially my first tutorial episodes. There are 10 of them about the Quidd app, because you might want to check into how Quidd operates before you start investing too much time and money into it. So Susie Q, oh, there I did it right off the bat. SiouxieR and I will share a coffee, talk a little bit about her collection, about what brought her to Quidd, and how she sees Quidd going in the future. What kind of direction is Quidd going to take, and how does she hope Quidd might proceed with future events? Thanks guys for joining in. Enjoy the episode. SiouxieR on deck. And before we chat a little bit with SiouxieR, again, you can find her on Quidd. Just type in the username in the search engine, you can find her. And if you want to help her out a little bit with her wish list, she has a few things there that she is hoarding and is collecting and looking to get as part of her collection. Not sure if this list has to be updated, but there are many items from horror, from Disney, from Neopets that she is looking to either collect or to hoard. And of course, with her lovely, wonderful storyboards, we can get a little look at what SiouxieR likes to collect on this app we all love and hate sometimes, and get frustrated with the app we know as Quidd. Without further ado, let's meet SiouxieR. And this segment I like to call 10 burning questions. So we have 10 questions that we're going to pose to SiouxieR and learn a little bit from her about the Quidd experience. The first question I asked Susie was, when did you join Quidd? What was that inaugural date?
I joined Quidd on April 5th, 2017.
Well, that was definitely one of the early ones. I was about 8 months later. Next question is, what was it that drew you to the app? Why did you start using Quidd?
I had been looking for some iMessage stickers, and Quidd was one of the apps I downloaded to check out.
Cool. I think a lot of people started using Quidd for that iMessage ability. Question number 3. Now that you've been on the app for 5 years, Susie, what are some of your best memories or experiences using Quidd?
As corny as it might sound, my favorite thing about the app is the friends, of course, that I made. I really enjoy the hoarding chases. Those tend to be really fun, especially when you are able to work together with a group, and makes it more affordable and more fun at the same time.
Yeah, I definitely remember working with you on one of the hoarding chases, the Wolverine exclusive card that 8 of us received. EOP CRN, Zombie Girl, Kova. There were a few of us that participated in these hoarding challenges, and that was a special memory for myself as well. The next question, and one of the main reasons, Siouxsie, I wanted to have you on the channel, was you recently made one of the biggest sales in Quidd history, ranking number 5 of top sales. And it was a special sale and probably a bittersweet sale for you as well. Can you tell us about that sale that you made and what your feelings are towards that sale?
As you can imagine, I had some mixed feelings about selling off my Disney One of One. Maleficent is my favorite Disney character, so it took me a while before I was able to accept selling it for a bigger cause, I guess you could say. At least I know she'll be in safe hands with LiQWYD.
Again, congratulations, Siouxsie, on that sale. What a huge sale for you and for Quidd. Was there anything about that chase that stands out for you that you remember specifically as you were chasing that one of one?
The chase for the dragon was not without controversy. It was the last day of Disney, and they had selected to do a one of one from a set that already existed. I had the first place rank on that one because, like I said, Maleficent is my favorite. So I had already went after the number one of the first item. Someone else had pulled it, and I ended up making a deal, sold them something they wanted more, and they sold me the number one of that first item. I still ended up having to pull a few more because the second and third place people were pretty close to me. Some of my other numbers weren't quite as good. I remember it was pretty stressful, and it was a lot of chatting with my friends on the side, trying to cheer each other on, and they knew how much I loved that set and Maleficent, and she's one of my mains, so I felt like they were really rooting for me. It was very nice.
What an experience that must have been, completing that chase for the one of one. Prior to that, do you remember what your best-selling item was? What item did you sell for the most money before that one-on-one?
My biggest sale before the dragon, I believe, was $500 for Gangsta Deadpool 1 of 9, and that was awesome, unexpected. Felt like a windfall. It was during the earlier days of cash sales.
It's really unique to make one big sale in Quidd, but you've made at least 2. What do you plan on doing with the money? Do you plan on investing it back into Quidd, or do you have other plans for it?
Well, I have already started reinvesting some of those funds. Had found some really nice stuff I'd been looking for and grabbed some of those. I do plan on withdrawing some of it. My daughter has a wedding coming up, so I'm hoping to use some of those funds to just make it a little extra special. I told LiQWYD that I'd make the Voodoo Donut table a special display that said courtesy of Quidd and LiQWYD.
I can tell just from your voice, Siouxsie, that sale you feel comfortable with, and that you felt that it did go to a good home with LiQWYD. I do have to ask, what are your favorite channels on Quidd?
My favorite channels are easy. Number 1 is Quidlit. I'm still ranked first in that overall, and sets and awards. I hope to keep that as long as I can. Reading has always been a big part of my family's life. I shared my love for reading with my kids, and we still discuss books that we enjoy, even though my kids are all grown up. Number 2 is horrors. Just really cool. I love horror stuff, especially like the beautiful, strange kind of stuff. That's my favorite. Number 3 would be Star Trek. I've loved Star Trek since I was probably a preteen, and that's been a part of my life throughout. And Felix. I have a black and white cat who I love very much, my Luna. And, cats, they're the best. So I love collecting all cat stuff, and especially the Felix channel.
I'm right there with you with the cats. I love the Star Trek cat series that they did. And I have a few cats of my own as well, so I know exactly where you're coming from. Now that you've made a few sales, Siouxsie, I have to ask, what are the items that you own that are your untouchables? Items that you don't think you'll ever sell?
My keeper items change from time to time, but I have 2 consistent ones that I can't imagine ever getting rid of, ever wanting to sell. The first one would be the Sally doll in the Nightmare Before Christmas channel. It's a 1 of 500. And as a matter of fact, I got that from Leppy. He's picked it up and sold it to me because he said he knew that it belonged in my collection, which was so sweet. And the other one would be the spirit board from the Horrors channel. That's a 1 of 13. And that one I pulled myself, and I felt like was just meant to be. I collect Ouija boards, so it's just perfect, I thought.
And that's one of the things I love the most about being able to interview fellow users of Quidd and really get to kind of know some of their passions and their hobbies. So thanks for sharing that. The 10th question, what do you think about the direction that Quidd is heading to? About the path that this app that you joined 5 years ago, that the direction that they're going on?
So I'm going along for the ride with Quidd right now. There's good days and bad days. I'm hopeful and trying to play as the game wants to go, I guess you could say. I wish there were more sets. I think most of us do. I do like the seasons, but wish there was stuff we could do more in between seasons. Either community-led or maybe just Quidd deciding to focus on an old set or an old channel and see, about recollecting certain things. Not a recollect checklist necessarily, just a challenge within the community, maybe guided by or led by Quidd or the mods. I think that would be a really cool way to keep the community engaged.
I'm with you on that, Siouxsie. We need more sets. We need to return to a state of Quidd a year ago, 2 years ago, where we have activities, we have contests, we have trivia, sets and more sets and more sets. Again, even if they're just public domain sets, I'm with you on that. Well, thank you very much, Siouxsie, for coming to the channel and allowing me to ask you some questions. Again, with one of the biggest sales in Quidd history, I hope that other Quidd users, whether they're new or old, have a little more insight into the mind of a true collector on Quidd, because you are one of the premier collectors on the app. Are there any closing comments, anything else that you'd like the audience to know about?
Thanks, Laptop Pound, for this opportunity. This was a bit more fun than I thought. I was a little nervous about doing something like this, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. Hopefully you'll have more interviews with more Quidd personalities, maybe a little more lively than me, I don't know. Oh, and by the way, my username, it's based off of a band from the 80s called Siouxsie and the Banshees. My name is Siouxsie, so I've been kind of using that since, I don't know, I was in high school or something. So, SiouxieR, that's me. Have fun, everyone.
All right, that is a wrap with our special guest, Siouxsie R. What a wonderful episode. What a great conversation. And what a collection. I never realized what a cool collection that Siouxsie R had. Definitely one of the top 10 collections on the Quidd app. So thanks again, Siouxsie R, for helping me out put together this episode. If you would like to have your collection spotlighted, or if you just want to talk Quidd, reach out to me. Contact me on Discord, contact me through the app, and we'll arrange a time and we can get you into a future episode as well. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Remember, collect what you love and love what you collect. Because as we saw today, Siouxsie R absolutely loves her collection. We'll see you next episode. Quidd Band, you know what to do. Take us out.